If you build AI agents or automations, you know just how fast things can get out of hand when it comes to money and time, right? Like you'll be noodling on some workflow for a little while. Then the next thing you know, you look up and it's been like 3 hours and you spent $30 on Claude Opus or something. And most of that money would have been towards context, which of course it needs to do a good job. But every one of those tokens comes at a premium, right? So in this video, I want to show you exactly how backboard.io just changed the game for this, where they put everything in one place. So you can use the right tool for the right task and you're not wasting a bunch of money on context because it's got persistent memory. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into a session that I just ran in Backboard where I had a less expensive model plan an N8N workflow. Then I had Claude Opus design the workflow so that I could just copy it and paste it into N8N. And then I used a less expensive model like Haiku for the daily driver, just actually using the function. So let's just jump into it, show you what's up. This is the Backboard Splashboard. I'm going to sign into Backboard. And I did an experiment where I called Opus for this almost 1 million tokens. And at $75 a million tokens, this is a pretty expensive way to go. So I'm going to see if we can sharpen that up. That was like, yeah, like 40 bucks, something like that. Anyway, so first things first, let's just go over into chat and I'll show you what we did. It was our friendly assistant here. Boop. I gave it the API documentation for backboard.io so that it knew the endpoints we needed when generating the workflow. And then I just had it honestly output the workflow that I wanted, right? And I could just like copy, paste the JSON directly into N8N. I didn't have to wire any of this up. Backboard does have tool access, but I'm a really visual person and it's easier for me to like see the Gmail node than it is for me to punch it in on something like N8N. So I went this route. And as you can imagine, wiring up each of these 13 different switch conditions would take some time. So I'd much rather this model do it, but I also don't want to spend like $75 or whatever it is to have it do it at the same time. So we're going to do just that. And I'll show you exactly step by step how this looks, starting with a brand new assistant. So it's got no previous context. Let's just start from scratch. N8N. Let's call this little helper because it's almost Christmas. I was watching The Simpsons with my kids this morning. Okay, so what's this guy do? It plans N8N workflows and then once confirmed generates JSON we can copy and paste into the N8N platform. I'm going to just say that here. So your job is to help plan N8N workflows, the input, the output structure. We're also going to generate JSON compatible with N8N that we can copy and paste into the platform once confirmed. Does this make sense? Input and output structure. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so we've got our guy, N8N little helper. Oh, it looks like these are persistent. Let's just go here and then come back. Whoop. Okay, cool. Welcome to Backboard chat. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is tell it what Backboard is and give it the API documentation. I know it's kind of like meta. We're in the platform and it's like, hey, so I think we'll be good, honestly, with just these for now. I'm just going to go with this. And you might think this is hardcore, but we do need to tell it what's up. That's all we'll need for now. I think we got the quick start and everything. Okay, so we're going to copy this and we're going to just paste this over here into our assistant with the less expensive model. GPT-4o Mini sounds great. Okay, so let's say backboard.io is a platform that gives you access to a bunch of different LLM. It's got persistent memory and built-in RAG. We're going to use this moving forward for our N8N workflows. Here is the API documentation for future reference. Nailed that one. Nailed it. Boop. So now it knows what Backboard is. It knows how to make these calls, and we're going to be able to call this information later. Okay, so let me know if there is a specific workflow we want to do. There is, yeah. Let's plan out an N8N workflow. We're going to go through what I need it to do. We're going to go through the structure, and we're not going to generate the workflow yet until we've got the entire end-to-end path sorted out and confirmed. Sometimes speaking to these put me on the spot. It's very strange. Okay, so telling it what to do. I would like to create a personal assistant workflow using backboard.io and the API documents that we just attached. I'd like to create an assistant in Backboard that I can give access to my tools such as email and calendar. It'll help me respond to emails, draft emails, and just generally be a conversational agent. Okay, so I got to go into my Aqua Voice and fix this. Ideally, I'd like to have the input be a Telegram trigger. The user will message and then the assistant will pick that up and answer that message. If the user asks to call a tool such as Gmail, I think our backboard assistant should be prompted to output a command, which would then go to a switch node and route to the appropriate tool. We also want to make sure that backboard has record of the tool calls and summary. So we'll have to call another messaging assistant at the end to have that record and also draft a response for the user. So what I see is a Telegram trigger, our backboard message assistant, a switch node for either tool commands or just a fallback for standard messages, the tools, a parse node, a backboard send a message to have record of the tool call, and then output a response to the user. Okay, as you can see, I already have a very clear idea of what the workflow is because I'm like staring at it, but you could just go back and forth and like plan this with the less expensive model, just going from here, right? It says, before we proceed, can you confirm the workflow structure looks correct? All right, so let's just see. Trigger node, great. Backboard sends message, great. Okay, it's got our post request with the message there, memory auto. It's pulling from our API documents, which we know. Okay, great. Switch node. Okay, so we need to give it a little bit more information about what we need from the switch node. So let's say the tool calls will need to be get emails, send emails, draft emails. So, and switch nodes will have to follow that structure. So maybe we'll go with Gmail _ send, Gmail _ get, and so forth. For the calendar, it's going to be very similar. It'll be calendar _ get, calendar _ schedule, calendar _ reschedule, calendar _ delete, and so forth. Those commands need to be identified by the LLM from backboard, and then a command will be output. If there's no command output, the automatic fallback will be just a straight message response to the user. Okay, understood. Now we're getting there. Now it knows what we want. Okay, so Telegram, Gmail send, Gmail get, after the Telegram trigger, calendar get, schedule, reschedule, delete, great. So the workflow structure is as follows. Telegram trigger, yep. Backboard, yep. Switch for command or fallback message, yep. Tool handler, okay. Multiple nodes for Gmail, calendar, yep. A parse tool output, yes, we definitely need that. Backboard, send message reply, yep. And a Telegram send message node for the final response. Okay, so does this capture your intended command? Okay, great. That looks fine. Do you have any other clarifying questions or any sort of specifics you need before we move on to generate the workflow? Okay, so we're going to do this here. Let's give it some reference nodes. Okay, so let's go with Telegram, switch. Okay, cheating. I'm going to copy these. We're going to paste it in here. Okay, these are what the nodes typically look like. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. Okay, let's say summary match your expectations. Yes, it does. So let's say I want to reference this later on in a different chat, so we're not messing around. Let's say for future reference, I'd like to call this workflow the backboard Telegram assistant. Make sure that all relevant context is assigned. The workflow structure, as well as the backboard functions and relevant API calls. Excellent. So now we've labeled it and we're cool here. Okay, great. So the moment of truth. This is actually something I'm kind of excited about. I'm not going to copy paste anything. It says 2 added, 1 updated. Fantastic. Go over here and I'm just going to go with, I'm just going to go for broke. Let's call it. Your task is to generate a JSON workflow compatible with N8N that I can copy and paste into that platform for the backboard Telegram assistant. Before you generate the workflow, please ask any clarifying questions about the flow or the N8N nodes required. Backboard authentication, Telegram. Okay, so it's got the structure. Great. So let's go for, don't worry about authentication. I can do that afterwards. I just want the workflow. It would be OAuth credentials for Gmail. Switch node logic should be command, so / email _ task, right? So email _ get. Error handling, just continue with error output. All responses through Telegram. Is it going to go? Oh, here it comes. Okay, cool. Just wanted to clarify those few things, and here we go. I'm curious how many tokens this will take. Oh my word. I didn't need to tell it to continue the last time, but it's okay. There we go. Now we got it. All right, so let's just go in here. And it says, before using, replace your backboard API key. Love it. Okay, so we've got this raw monstrosity that we can deal with. Okay, make sure you change your credentials. Fantastic. Yes. So let's go over and just see how this did. All right, so let's put it all together in making sure it's functional. Let's go. Yeah, it looks right. Okay. Just going to use 4.5 to check the context because I was copying and pasting things over, making sure we're good. Validated, doing all the things. Okay, cool. What I need to configure, yep, backboard API key, my assistant ID. That's great. We still haven't created the assistant, and that's kind of on purpose. I just wanted the workflow here. Don't copy the JSON, maximum, and paste this here. All right, sweet. So email send, email get, calendar create, fantastic. Did the thing. Telegram fallback, get event, create event, so good. That is exactly what we asked it to do. And now we need to create a backboard assistant that can handle this. Okay, so okay, it was another four. Actually, that's the way we charge it. No, it's still showing the same. It didn't update. But anyway, that cost us $4 instead of the $40 it cost to plan that all out with Claude Opus, which was absurd. Okay, so now we've got this here. Let's go and use a smarter model for generating the assistant system prompt, and then we can go from there. Because when you make your assistant, you give it its task, you upload your knowledge base, your documents, that kind of thing, and you do that at the time. You can update it. There's like API calls for that as well. But I mean, tangent. We want to talk to this thing so we can get a system prompt. So with that, you need to update a system prompt at the time you create your assistant. So now that this has all of the context of the workflow that we're working with, it knows what is happening under the hood. This is the perfect model to generate our system prompt. I already had one from when I did this before. So it's like available commands, right? Let's go back into here and just like give it a challenge. This might not work as planned, but I have faith, you know? This is fantastic. So given that workflow, I'm going to create an assistant that can manage these tool calls with that, I will need a system prompt that reflects the tool calls, reflects backboard outputting the command if necessary on the message, and also knowing what the summary looks like at the end so it can give the response saying email sent or whatever. Okay, can you generate that system prompt so I can create the assistant, please? Love it. Comprehensive system prompt. So it knows what we're doing, important rules. I'm just going to make sure it knows and it doesn't go off on a tangent a little bit. This is already really long. Why is it so long? Example number 3. Why do we need examples? Oh, for the calendar check. Yeah, it's not just a conversation agent. Makes sense. This is super long though. You're an intelligent personal assistant with the ability to manage emails and calendar events. Great. Tool commands, send email, email send, email get. We don't really need the examples here, but we'll do it anyways. Copy. Great. Ready to create assistant. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to make a new HTTP request. HTTP requests, just like so. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put this over here so that I've got it. Okay, and I can come back and paste that in there. So actually, with the API docs, with those backboard API docs, can you output the following? I should be speaking this. I want a create assistant node with that system prompt baked right in that I can just run and get my assistant ID. I also want a create thread so I can get a thread ID, and then I'll just copy that into my message assistant. Excellent. I didn't try this before. Like I said, I'm in uncharted territory with some of this stuff. I did it kind of proof of concept this morning, but let's see what it does. I'm going to have to change out a couple things in terms of my credentials, but this is cool. It's like baking the system prompt right into the thing. Okay, so how to use it? You get your API key, of course, and then click execute workflow. Great. The output will be assistant, thread, paste IDs into my assistant. Man, if this works as advertised, everybody's always like, oh, dude, AI did this and this and this for me, but sometimes it just doesn't work the way that you wanted it to. And I hope that this does. Oh, baby. Okay, format ID output. Great. So I'm just going to like put my credentials in here. I'm just going to get rid of this and I'm going to put it up here where I've already got it. Header auth I've got. Now I'm going to go to backboard and just use this. Content type JSON. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to do the same over here. And authentication. Header auth. I've already got my backboard API key saved. So, oops, I should get rid of the Telegram trigger over here. Deactivate, deactivate. So now we know we're just going to go with this guy. Now see if this works. Method not allowed. Oh, we don't have the right ID. Assistant ID is this right here. It was pretty close, right? JSON.id instead of JSON.assistant ID. Come on, backboard. Let's pick it up, shall we? Or I guess that's Claude. That's a Claude thing. It still didn't get it. What happened? Oh no. Telegram assistant ID body. Here, you know what? Let's using fields below. I'm going to refer back to the API documents and actually do a little bit, right? Okay, so create thread. We send that in the JSON body. Oh, you really dropped the ball here, Claude. Okay, let's just do this. Bang. All right, and now instead of that schmoots, we do have to send body. So we'll just send that blank because it says so in the documentation that Claude didn't read for this one, apparently. I shouldn't be giving it trouble because this is the most hands-on work I've actually had to do for this assistant, which is sweet. Received this error with the thread API call. Yes, actually. Sorry for the 30 minutes of baloney again. Let's give it a shot. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's put my credentials in. I don't need to send headers. I'm just going to go generic, and we're going to go to header auth. And I've already got my backboard API in here. So I'm just going to do the same over here. We don't need to send header. Using JSON, we're going to send that blank, like it said. It's doing the thing again. Here, let's firstly just run this, and this works fine. Yeah. Now let's route this assistant ID over here. Okay, so it's reading the API wrong again, but did I spell this wrong? Oh my God, I hope I didn't spell it wrong. Okay, so assistants / assistant ID / okay, assistants, making sure that I got no typos because that was messing me up last time. Okay, good. Pin this so we don't call it again. Beep. And we're gonna go. Just like because it's square brackets instead of the thing. Oh, okay. What the heck? Okay, so let's steal this thread ID, and this is who we're gonna talk to. Excellent. So it did the thing. We've got our thread ID now. I'm gonna take this and copy this and move it over to our assistant right here. Messages sent. I'm just gonna double check the API documents. Base threads / thread ID / messages. Okay. It's going to work. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Just copy this over to the other side. Going to make sure the JSON is correct. Application type. Thread ID I don't need. We can get rid of content. Yep. Memory auto. Yep. What else do we need? Yeah. Okay. So form data. There we go. Form data. Oh, shoot. You know what? Well, that's okay. Content value be tool executed. And I'm just going to go the easy route. Okay. Memory. We're going to go down to auto, so it remembers, and then we're going to go, oops, AMING, and that's going to be false, same as it always is. Yes. Okay, so we're going to go over here and just make sure we got this JSON is correct. Thread ID we don't need. I want to take this and copy this actually before I mess around. Okay, so we're going to go data, just like we just did. Content is bang, like that. Memory is auto, like that. Streaming is false, like that. Actually, that's all we need. Go open router and model, right, model name. I'm going to double check the APIs here just to make sure I got this right. Okay, we're good. Excellent. And which model do we want? Let's go and find something cool. Model library. Okay, K2. K2 is a cool one. Or Grok. There, Grok 4 fast. Bang. Now we're speaking with Grok 4. Great. And there you have it. We would just set this up with our Telegram node. Fire this over here, which we will do. Okay, so let's get this going with our tester guide. We've got TesterBot lined up there. We've got this over here. Who are we going to talk to? Chat ID. This might work. Let's go and give this a shot, eh? We're talking to Grok 4, having a good time. In my Telegram, you know what? I'll do it from my phone, and then that way everybody can see. Going over Telegram from my phone to TesterBot 5000, I'm just going to send a quick message. Hello. Waiting. Good. Okay, we're all good. It says, hello. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that this is lined up properly. Remember, you need to make it fail so that it works correctly. JSON text. Great, great, great. This says hello. As we can see, I'm going to zoom in so you can all see. Hello. That's what I said. So now it's thinking of the response. We're going to go back over this way. Oh, API key. Oh my goodness. Thought we did that. I'm glad we made this break the first time. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so now we've got this routed appropriately. Get rid of the headers. Fantastic. Just gonna make sure this has the correct output. Command, message ID, chat ID. We're gonna try that one more time. Hello. Okay, and now we are going to route our response down to the text response. We're gonna execute this step one more time so that everything works according to plan. And then it says, hello, what's on your mind? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna make sure that Telegram is set up over on this side. Oh, I don't need this. We're just gonna send our backboard ID call. Make sure this is all right again. I thought we just did this. Where did I do that? Interesting. Okay, don't set headers. Go over here. Get our header authentication and plug it. I must have just done it once and then figured we were good for the rest of all time. Okay, great. So let's try something fun. Can you get my last email? Just gonna make sure we've got this all set up. Gmail account, making sure I've got the correct credentials. Okay, I'll try this out. Make sure the switch works properly. That's all we're doing here, making sure the switch works. It's not outputting a command. Dang. Okay, so let's go with, we'll copy this, paste it over here. All right, so this is a little bit of troubleshooting, and that is okay. Just making sure that this knows exactly what it's supposed to do. Going to copy this whole thing and give it via my Telegram assistant. Oh, dang. All right, excellent. I'm gonna turn this on and send my thing here, making sure it knows what's up. There, easy fix. Okay, is this gonna work the same way? Right, I just had to tell it this particular thing. Moving forward, let's make sure we use our commands. It goes through the thing and we get a great Telegram response once we wire this up. This is exactly what we wanted. Everything is working great. Just a couple of things we need to tie together at the end of it, but that's the same as always. Go back here to the Telegram ID, make sure we get our chat ID, which is right here. Bang. And the text is the output from this guy right here. Bang. Okay, and there you have it. That is our Backboard personal assistant as done with Claude Opus 4.1. So I think this is fantastic. Not only did it save me a ton of time in wiring out all those different switch nodes, but it saved me, what, 90% over what it would have cost to use Opus just straight away. So having access to all these separate models in the same place is phenomenal. And I'm going to continue using Backboard like this moving forward, right? Planning with the smaller models, going in and doing like crazy implementations with these more specialized models for what they're actually designed for, and then going in and trading that out with the faster, more conversational models for the front end, right? If you want to try something like this for yourself, see what you can build out, you can sign up and get some free developer credits to start on backboard.io today. Cannot wait to see what you build out. Catch you later.